Welcome everybody back to the Tech Woke channel. It's good to be back on this channel. Um, for y'all that don't know, my name is Chris. I work in the GovTech space. I'm an information system security officer in the GRC field. Have the security plus, have the masters in cybersecurity. Been working in this space for 4 years. Been working in government space for a very, 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 very long time. So on today's video, I keep seeing videos throughout the internet. I get questions. I get people that hit me up all the time. They always ask me how to get into GovTech. So, you know what I'm going to do? So, I created a video. I'm going to start trying to go live every Saturday. And don't mind my mic setup. Mic not working right now. So, I got to get that updated. But every Saturday, I'm going to just talk about a particular topic: cybersecurity, GovTech, even personal life. So in today's video, for example, we're going to talk about how to break into GovTech. Everybody always asks how to get into GovTech. You know, some people are paying thousands of dollars to learn how to get into GovTech. When I got into GovTech, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what government contracting was. It was a foreign thing to me. I just know you got a clearance, you work with the government, and you're doing things that can change people's lives. You can change it for another. You can help them out, things like that. So I'm going to just go in depth on what is GovTech, how to give it into it, and just show different examples of what GovTech is, and just show some jobs, resume, things like that. But if you're watching this stream, please like the stream, please share the stream, please comment the stream. It helps the channel, helps us grow as a whole, and it helps us, get the word out to more and more and more people. So in today's video, we're gonna go and break down what GovTech is. We're gonna go in some depth on things that I personally know, and we're gonna do it through a slide method. It's a thing I like to use. I like to use the slides so it can just keep me on track, so I can make sure I know what I'm talking about, help guiding the people, and help we're going on a good place. So we're gonna break this down. How longer it takes, but we're gonna break this down in depth. So I'm about to present my screen real quick. Okay, so we're sharing the entire screen. So I'm going to put up some slides right now so we can look at them. So like I was telling everybody, we're breaking into the government technology space. And I'm going to break down what I know about it, and we're going to go in depth and show little things too. And just to let people know, below the screen in the description, I have a book on getting into GovTech where it's really more in depth. I also have a Patreon also, where it's a community we're growing to help people in the cybersecurity GovTech space learn and get better. So if you go to the Patreon, it has resume templates, has jobs that can get you sponsored for clearances, has government contractors to look at, things like that that can help you get in the government contractor space. So check it out, and also check out the stand store. And also if you need consulting, check that out. Book a free consultation, and then also check out the Patreon, and also check out the book I have in the stand store. So check that out. But we're gonna dive into the GovTech, breaking into GovTech, and see what's going on with that. I'm trying to space it out and elongate it so I can get people on. If anybody wants to see, ask questions. So what's GovTech? That's kind of the book definition. GovTech involves using technology to improve how governments work and deliver services to the public. It includes tools like online platforms, data systems, and apps that help the government make the government operations more efficient, services more accessible, and communication with citizens easier. GovTech aims to modernize the outdated system, enhance public safety, and make government more responsive and effective. So in the government space, a lot of they use technologies like we and you use. The thing about the government, sometimes it might be a little bit slower because of funding and things like that. So they have their own They have people that work in the government that work with these specific software. Sometimes they can have clearances and stuff like that, so they can make sure they can see certain things in that government space. But it's still like technology, like me and you. But you're just working in that space. You can work at it as a government worker, or you can work at it as a contractor that works for a company providing services for the government. So there's two different options you can do it. Even if you're in the military, it's you're working for the government or you're contracted to the government. That's how working in the GovTech space is. If anybody doesn't know, yeah. So that's kind of what it is. And if you read this, you see all the different types of services they might need for the government. It's the same like working in the private, right? Working everywhere else. So it's the same. So there's different key players in the government technology space. I listed some of them. I'm going to name them and then I'm going to go over it just off the knowledge I have from working in the space. So the first one, like we talked about, government agencies. There are government agencies that literally, government agencies like CIA. It can be a state government. It can be different government agencies, FBI, United States Marshals, Department of Defense, things like that. There are government agencies that have government technology, like we were just talking about. There's tech companies that work through the government with contracts and things like that to provide service for the government. There's also nonprofit organizations and regular citizens, you know, that help out with this type of stuff. So these are some kind of the key players in the government technology space that you want to keep aware of. And then, like I said, if you check out the book, Stand Store, I got down below, it goes in more depth on the stakeholders and how they help the government technology spaces. And also in the Patreon. The book's in the Patreon too, if you want to check that out. So types of clearances. There's different types of clearances in the government technology space. And I'm just going to break from what I know. Um, Again, it goes more in depth in the book. But public trust is a starter clearance. It's easy to get. Public trust. You got the secret clearance, top secret clearance. You got the top secret SCI, which means sensitive compartmental information. You got the full scope poly. You got special access program clearances. These are some of the clearances that you need to get into the government contracting space. I know people glance and talk about them. I know if people that want to work remote, I know in the secret, if you have like a secret public trust, that's kind of the realm you want to stay in if you want to get those types of jobs and stay in that space, particularly to get remote or hybrid positions. But once you go, even top secret, but once you go to the top secret SCI, if you want to go to the full scope, that's when everything can start going crazy. So that's kind of what you need to be aware of when getting into this space. So I used to be a background investigator. I kind of did some of this process when, getting for somebody that's trying to get a clearance. So the clearance process can take a while. So in the clearance process, there's an application, usually SF 86, somebody fills out. Everybody fills it out. You put all your information, sometimes for 10 years worth of information on there. Then once you submit that form, you get a background check. So they do a background check of you. Then they do a sometimes depending on the clearance, they do a when they talk to your friends, family members all around the country. So that's where the background investigation goes. And then they, like I was telling you, to interview different people in your family, you. So that's some of the things that you got to be aware of. It goes into more depth on the book, and then on the adjudication process. So what it happens is they adjudicate you to see if you're fit for a clearance. So they can adjudicate you. Maybe you might be mistrustful or giving information to people over the country, stuff like that. Money. There's a lot of bribery cases going on. One in D.C. where I particularly stay at. There was a bribery where somebody got some money, one of the politicians, and they investigated him because he said, "Oh yeah, give me some money, and then I will put you on." So that's kind of what happened. They adjudicate you for that process and see if you should get a clearance. And usually it's continuous at this point. I don't think they reinvestigate you. It was continuous at this point once you get all this approved. That's kind of the process I went to. I kind of did some of this when I was a background investigator. So how do you get a clearance? So there's different ways you can get a clearance. I'll show you some websites right now. We're gonna go on. I'm gonna find some. I'm gonna show you this from what I know at the top of my head. So we're going clearance jobs. Clearance jobs is a place where you can find clearances, jobs that specifically in your space. So clearance jobs is a place where you can look for people that may sponsor you. You can go on. Where are we gonna go on? USA Jobs. USA Jobs houses a lot of people in the government space, so things like that. You can go on USA Jobs to find this type of space. USA Jobs is another good place. We're going to type in. I'm going cyber. We're going to type in DC. And we're going to see what pops up. See all these positions. So these are some of the positions that can pop up. So there's plenty of jobs out here, and they'll tell you who can apply. It's open to former, competitive. It can tell you if you can apply. It's open to citizens and nationals. So it has all types of FBI, all these positions hiring for somebody. So apply, check this out. And then the last place is just Indeed. So Indeed, you can just look for different types of jobs. I was going to show you an example specifically on how to find jobs that sponsor on Indeed. So this is a company in the DC, DMV area, and they sponsor for a lot of clearances. A lot of people I know sponsor. It's called Intercon. So we're going to look for what it's saying. So we're going to go look to see if they're sponsoring. Hmm. So we're gonna go back, see, because this job usually applies. They might not have it. I'm just literally, we're literally just searching off the whim. 'Cause I know this company sponsors a lot of people, but I can tell you this company definitely sponsors a lot of people for clearances. We're no Roche. Okay, here we go. So here it says armed security officer. We sponsor for TS as secret clearances, and this is in the DMV area. They pay $32 an hour. They sponsor you for a clearance. So check it out. I post a lot of things like these in the Patreon, so also check it out too. I post a lot of jobs I know about that sponsor some type of clearance. So check out the Patreon. I'm going to post it there regardless. And I just do that for people that support the channel and just building up the community to help everybody get better. And like I said, 1% better every day. So it tells you we offer $32 an hour. You have the ability to get a top secret. So as long as if you see ability to obtain, maintain a top secret, that's what you're looking for. Fluent English, must 21, must possess United States driver's license. And you have to be a U.S. citizen to get a clearance. Possess a minimum 3 years of active duty. Blah blah blah. It's either one of the three. So it's like either either you possess a degree or have 3 years of experience. So as long as you got a degree, you can get this position. Because I know most people that apply for it, they always had a degree and got it. But you got to work some long hours. They pay you $32 an hour and sponsor you and train you. Because I think you have to have a gun for this, which they train you. So read this, apply. I'm telling you, they definitely sponsor clearance. So that's what you're looking for. We sponsor or ability to obtain. Or in general, like if you just you could just apply to certain positions and hope they might sponsor you. Sometimes they don't tell you, so they'll sponsor you and don't tell you. If you're qualified next, they'll bring you on. So you might want to look at those three. Like I said, I post this stuff in the Patreon, so we're gonna go on. So that's kind of like a little deaf. Okay, so we went over where to find GovTech jobs, USA jobs, Indeed, things like that. Okay, so I'm going to show you like a resume in the GovTech space on how it should look. So this is kind of like how mine's is, and I don't mind sharing it because I have this stuff, top secret, this might, stuff like that. So you put all this stuff, you got to put in a specific format. This is for a contracting position, things like that. So that's kind of how we put it, put the information, and this how you sit with Sender. And this stuff, my resume is in a Patreon, and I also have like a resume you can use to fill in like a template on there also. So I'm gonna check a look for a second to see if we have if anybody's in here. Somebody comment. Okay, so somebody asked, and I'm gonna say his name. Finance 101 dummy. Yeah, so when I was working as a background investigator, if you're in, I'm just want to make sure you're here. So when I was working as a background investigator, right, for to get a clearance, you just as long as you tell the truth about certain things, nothing really disqualify you. The main thing is if you're as long as you're not no terrorist or anything like that. If you're not a terrorist, as long as you're paying, you got to pay back on your student loans. Make sure you pay back on your student loans. If you're not paying back your student loans, you can't work for the federal government. You got to make sure you're paying off your debts. Your financials can disqualify you. Um, Too many foreign influences can disqualify you. Just that's the main thing they looking for you. And then, like I said, you have to be a U.S. citizen. So things like that. Oh, how you doing, Nigel? Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah. So, yeah, how you doing, brother? Yeah, but that's kind of the things that would disqualify you from getting the clearance, some of the things like that. So that's the main things that would disqualify you from getting clearance is financials and things like that. So do we have any more questions? No more questions. Okay. Yeah, but that's pretty much everything I can say on how to get in the government contracting space or government GovTech space. Again, I go in more depth on the book. I go more in depth on the Patreon, things like that, where and it has a lot of information like clearances and things like that. So just check it out. Support the channel. I'm just gonna keep doing it no matter what, but it helps grow the channel and help us grow as a whole. Thank you everybody for checking out. Peace out. I'll see you on the next one.